I want to show you something fancy here. We have the where condition. Let me remove all of that. We are retrieving all the books here, and then we are logging it right there. In the get all books, we are retrieving all of that. Let me log that as well. Perfect. So if you notice here, everything is exactly the same. We just have .toList here, and we do not have that right here. Let me add a debugging point in both the places, and let me bring back the get all books right there. So perfect. Let me execute this. Great, we hit our breakpoint here. Let's examine that. Right now we have the .toList. So before we hit the for each block here, you can see the query was executed here. That is great. Let me continue. And now we hit the get book where we do not have the .toList. We have the same for each. If we go back, that query is not executed. What is going on here? Basically what happens is when we add the .toList, the query gets executed right away. But when we are working with books directly, here we saw earlier that deferred execution comes into picture. So this query will be executed when we are actually iterating on the books. So let me minimize this and we can see that real time here. Perfect. Now when we iterate, or rather press F10 here, you will notice the query gets executed. It will try to iterate through the books. That time it will go to the database and it will execute that query, as you can see in the window here. So that is where we have the deferred execution that comes into picture. By default, the queries are not directly executed when you write context.books like that. They are executed when the user tries to retrieve the record. Now that is different when we are using first or default or single. When we use first or default, single or .toList, they get executed right away. I want you guys to have this basic idea right now, but when we go in the next section, we will dive into more examples on deferred execution.